An aesthetic refers to the visual appearance of something. An aesthetic can often be seen as quite subjective, given that it is down to personal preference on how something looks. When producing our trailer and then my ancillary product, I found it useful to think of a particular aesthetic which I was trying to achieve with my products, as this would ensure that I produced them in a manner whereby there was continuity between my three products. My chosen aesthetic was a sleek, clean aesthetic that made my product look realistic and believable. I chose to keep a sleek and minimalistic look when producing my trailer, given that this was going to increase the sophistication of my marketing campaign, thus meaning that I thought my marketing campaign would be more of a success. The minimalistic and clean aesthetic which I was trying to achieve can be seen within our trailer during several of the different shots which we have used. For example, the long shot of Bea and Justin walking away down the pavement shows a naturalistic and minimalistic outdoor environment. In my opinion, this helps to establish our clean and sophisticated aesthetic which we were trying to achieve. The minimalistic and simple environment which we have used helps to ensure that our product looks professional and realistic. It helps to ensure that the audience believe that what they are seeing is real, thus meaning that our product looks more professional. The cuts between these two close-ups of Bea and Justin also help to contribute towards creating our sleek aesthetic. The way in which we have filmed these shots within a street down the road in which Bea lives helps to create a naturalistic environment, given that the audience can relate and believe that this street is real. This therefore helps to make our product look more sophisticated, thus helping to establish this sleek and clean look that we were trying to achieve. The way in which we have just used the outdoor environment and not edited or changed the location in any way helps to keep the location simple, thus meaning that we were able to achieve the sleek aesthetic we were going for. Our inclusion of ambient shots like this close-up of relaxation drops also contribute towards creating a sleek and minimalistic aesthetic. As you can see from this shot, the only thing in focus is the bottle. Therefore, this helps to make sure that the shot is very simplistic and minimalistic, thus helping to achieve the sleek and simple aesthetic that we were trying to create. The way in which we have included ambient shots like this shot also help to make our product look more professional, given that it is conventional for trailers to include ambient shots like this that help to encode deeper layers of meaning regarding the narrative. The manner in which we have included this shot helps to contribute towards the clean and tidy aesthetic that we were creating, given that it helps to break up different shots within our trailer, thus meaning that the trailer is easier for the audience to decode. The minimalistic and clean look is further enforced through the sleek and bare look within Bea's bedroom. Although this was intentionally done in order to encode the fact that she has lost all excitement about her life and no longer loves the same things anymore, it successfully helps to achieve a minimalistic look. The way in which all her bedroom is white helps to make sure that the look is sleek and minimalistic, thus showing how it conforms to our chosen aesthetic. In my opinion, it also makes our trailer look more professional, given that we have been able to use sophisticated locations in order to encode meaning, and therefore we have thought through the locations that we wanted to use in order to ensure that they conform to our aesthetic but also encode the right meaning towards our narrative. Another shot within our trailer that conforms to the sleek aesthetic we were trying to achieve is the shot of Bea within the bath. This conforms to the minimalistic and clean aesthetic which we were trying to achieve throughout all three of our products. The manner in which the central focus of this shot was on Bea meant that the way in which we had directed for there to be no other things happening within the shot helped to keep it minimalistic and clean. This therefore meant that the shot was also rather still. The stillness of the shot juxtaposition to what audience expected from the shot, given that they expected her to be fighting against the water in an aggressive manner. This therefore helped to ensure that our shot conformed to the clean and tidy aesthetic which we were trying to create, and almost made her look as if she was floating in the water. This therefore also helped to create a tense and eerie atmosphere given that it juxtaposition to what the audience expected. Once again in this shot of Bea in her bedroom we have been able to achieve this sleek, clean and minimalistic look. From the way in which we took all of the bedding off the bed within this location and put white sheeting on the bed and a white blanket as the duvet, helped to make sure that the location looked sleek and minimalistic. This therefore not only helped to encode the fact that Bea felt vulnerable and did not enjoy things within her life anymore, but it also helped to ensure that our shot conformed to the sleek, clean and professional looking aesthetic which we were trying to achieve. This is another example of a shot which demonstrates our clean aesthetic, which is sleek and professional looking. The way in which we got Justin to stand against a black background helped to ensure that the focus for the shot was on his face. This therefore meant that the only thing you really looked at when looking at the shot was his face, thus helping to successfully conform to our sleek, tidy and minimalistic aesthetic. In my opinion, this makes our shot look more professional, given that we have not overdone locations or settings within this shot, but instead have focused on the central antagonist's face and his facial expressions, which encode a lot of meaning. Therefore, the way in which we have not gone over the top with locations and different things help to ensure that our aesthetic remains sleek and thus more professional looking. This is another example of an ambient shot within our trailer that helps to ensure that our trailer looks sleek and professional. The way in which we have captured the close-up of the light is visually intriguing, but it also conforms to the conventions of a thriller trailer, given that it breaks up information by including random and slightly distorted ambient shots. Therefore, I think the way in which we have captured this simple but minimalistic shot of the light bulb helps to ensure that our chosen aesthetic is promoted, given that the shot is clearly minimalistic and sleek looking. Therefore, I think this shot is a good example of how we have conformed to our sleek and minimalistic aesthetic. The written screens within our trailer also conform to our minimalistic and professional looking aesthetic. The way in which we have not overcomplicated the screens but just simply typed one word on each screen against a blue background helps to ensure that the shots and written screens look simple and professional looking. This therefore demonstrates how these shots have been able to conform to our minimalistic, simple and sleek aesthetic. In my opinion, the way in which we have captured this shot also conforms to our sleek aesthetic. The way in which we have organised her hair out helps to make the shot look clean and neat, given that it looks like we have thought about how we want Bea to be lying and how we want her hair to sit rather than just asking her to lie down. Therefore, the way in which we have done this, I think, helps to show how our aesthetic is clean, sleek and minimalistic through a lot of the shots we have used within our trailer. Furthermore, in our trailer, the shot of the bathroom light switch also helped to ensure that a clean and minimalistic look was created. It did this given that the white plastic cap on the lighting switch was the main focus within the shot, given that there is nothing else in the shot. The white plastic lid helped to create a bare and minimalistic shot, which thus conformed to the aesthetic which we were trying to achieve. Therefore, I think it is possible to say, just from looking at the small proportion of shots that we have picked out, that the way in which we filmed footage for our trailer helped to ensure that our shots conformed to this minimalistic, sleek and professional aesthetic which we were trying to create with our product. As you can see from my film poster, the manner in which I did not place anything within the middle of the 3x3 grid helped to ensure that my poster was minimalistic, thus meaning that I had a clean aesthetic and combined my media products effectively. The manner in which I did not include information in this middle section of the poster helped to make my poster look more authentic, given that I placed emphasis on the image, which is conventional for a film poster. This therefore demonstrates the manner which I have been able to conform to this clean aesthetic within my poster, thus creating good and solid continuity between my media products. I would say that this authentic and minimalistic look on my poster is not just created through the way in which I arranged the information on the poster, but also through the way in which I edited the image. As you can see from the image that I started out with and then the editing process that I went through, I was able to combine different images and then edit them so that they looked more authentic and realistic to my genre. I was able to add the two layers of images together and blur them together so that they looked professionally blurred together. If I had not been able to do this, then the combination of my two images would have looked unsophisticated and half finished. This therefore means that I think the way in which I edited the image so that the main image looked as though it had a side and secondary image of B's face coming out the side helped to ensure that I created and established this authentic and sleek aesthetic within my poster. The way in which I have managed to successfully establish this sleek aesthetic within my poster too shows how I was able to combine my media products through my use of aesthetic and the way in which I try to ensure that all of my media products look sophisticated and neat. Furthermore, within my poster, I lined up information so that it helped to achieve a neat and professional looking aesthetic. For example, on my poster, I lined up the film title so that it was at the center of the page. On my film title poster, I also linked the billing box and the website release date so that it was in the center of the page. This therefore helped create a neat, organized look to my poster, ensuring that this professional, sleek and sophisticated aesthetic was also achieved. In terms of my film magazine front cover, I also tried to line up information in a neat and sophisticated manner, ensuring that I would be able to create this professional, sleek aesthetic. For example, on my film magazine, I also lined up the title of the film so that it was in the center of the page. This would help to ensure that my magazine looked professional, thus meaning that I would successfully be able to combine my media products through the way in which I had created a professional and sleek looking aesthetic in all of my products. Also, on my magazine front cover, I ensured that all of the straplines down both sides of the right hand and left hand side of the page were at the same point within the page. This attention to detail when it came to lining up the information meant that I was able to achieve this a clean aesthetic in a sophisticated and successful manner. This therefore meant that I was able to combine my three media products in a successful manner through the way in which I used this aesthetic in order to help me combine my product. Also on the magazine front cover, I was able to line up the additional images at the bottom of the front cover. By lining up these additional images in a neat and sophisticated manner, it allowed them to look like a movie reel, which helped to make my magazine front cover look more realistic and believable. The manner in which I have did this demonstrates how I have been able to organize information and lay it out of my magazine in order to create an aesthetic that is clean, minimalistic, and simple. This therefore shows how I have successfully established a clean and simple aesthetic within my magazine front cover, which was what I wanted to achieve. Also on my magazine front cover, the way in which I was able to edit the image so that it had a shadow coming from the back of it made the image look more realistic when placing it on my magazine front cover. This therefore shows how I was able to use Photoshop in order to edit my images so that they conform to the aesthetic that I was trying to create. This therefore demonstrates that I was able to successfully create a minimalistic and professional looking aesthetic on my magazine front cover as well. It is possible to say that the way in which I filmed my footage, took my photos, and then edited my products, that I have been able to create a consistent product through the way in which I have established a minimalistic, clean, sleek, and professional looking aesthetic within all three of my products. I wanted to achieve this aesthetic given that I knew it would enhance the success of my marketing campaign, given that if the products look more professional, then consumers are more likely to pay interest in the products. Therefore, I really tried hard to combine my media products through the way in which I created a sleek aesthetic throughout my products. I think that I have done this in a successful manner, as you can see from many examples within my three products how I have been able to establish an aesthetic that is sleek and professional looking.